Welcome back to my shop. I have finished my Harbor Freight pressure washer filtration system project, and I'm going to go through what I did and how I deviated from my original plan in some cases. I did mount the stand to a dolly. I removed all the carpeting. I had to buy new wheels because I had taken the wheels off the dolly for a different project. I had originally bought a set of wheels with a softer tread from Harbor Freight, but they turned out to be too small and too soft. So I got another set of wheels that are the same diameter as the original ones, but these are actually a little better than the original Harbor Freight ones, and I got them at my local Ace Hardware. Moving on inside, this 90-degree elbow, which is 1/4 inch NPT, originally was 90 degrees counterclockwise from its current position. But when I took it all apart and cleaned everything and put it back, it was just too loose in that position. I tried it in threading it on this end and threading it onto this end, onto the 1/4 inch nipple that's welded to this tank. And the best one I could find was where I have it, and I turned it another 90 degrees to make sure it was tight and snug. And I installed a 90-degree fitting here, 1/4 inch NPT and 3/8 hose barb. This is 3/8 fuel hose. And then another 90-degree 3/8 hose barb by 1/4 inch NPT into the bulkhead fitting I mentioned in my other video. It's gasketed so nothing will leak. And then it comes out to a 45, hard to see, a 45-degree fitting here, 1/4 inch NPT, and then 3/8 hose barb to a short length of hose to my oil filter adapter. I mentioned this in the other video. Part number off the top of my head is gone. This is the inlet and this is the outlet. And the outlet goes to a 90-degree 3/8 hose barb by 3/8 hose barb. I had to use nylon because there were no brass pieces available when I bought this. To another 90 into my second bulkhead fitting. And then the original spigot line is also 1/4 inch NPT, so it threads right into it. And it comes around, and it leaves plenty of room for me to put the little parts washing box right here with no problem. And there's plenty of room for me to wash around. Nothing gets in my way, and I managed to keep this area clear, as that was my original goal. I did consider having the spigot come out over here, but the problem with that was, in order to have it on that surface, it would have to be on a surface that's perpendicular to this surface, and it would be way out here. It was going to take up too much space here. So I thought about it some more and decided to come out over here on the side of the tank, and then it leaves me plenty of room. It's basically on this side. The way it works, I can move it anywhere I need to if I have to. Some changes I had to make this fit because it was tight. Again, this piece had to be on a surface that's perpendicular to this surface, so it's flat. So it ended up being very, very close to the tank here. It's hard to see. I had to dent the tank a little bit to make it fit. And I also, not going to be easy to see here. Get the light over here. Yeah, the lip. Let's try this. There's a lip at the bottom of this switch cover that anchors it to the side of the tank. I had to flare the side of the plate here, the side of this cover, so I could shift the tank further towards the front. So it gave me another 3/16 of an inch or so clearance to slide the tank over and make room for the bulkhead fitting. Everything fit very well. I did make one mistake. I'll own up to my mistake. When I was positioning everything here on the side, I wanted to keep it up high, above the fluid level, so I wouldn't have any drainage when I took the filter off. And I found out that when I closed the cover, I had a problem. My hose interfered with the lid. I forgot to take that into account. I thought I was doing really well, but I made a mistake. But I worked around it, just notched the lid, and that worked out well. I haven't put any fluid back in it yet. I wanted to be able to show you how everything fit. It'll be a bit more difficult with the fluid in the tank. I only used 2 of the 3 holes to mount the filter adapter, because those are the only 2 holes. They were the only 2 holes where I could get a straight shot and directly see where the hole was going to go into the side of the tank. This 3rd hole over here is blocked by the inlet to the filter, so it was very difficult to get any kind of a marking in there. 2 holes is good enough. And I used nylon lock nuts on 5/16 bolts. 2 short 5/16 bolts that I had. And that's all. I'm very pleased with how this came out. I have 2 cans of PSC 1000. I don't remember how much this tank takes. I know it's advertised at 20 gallons, but I think it takes less than 10. In my plan, I was going to use this easy drain valve. It was 14mm thread, and I found out once I drained the tank that it did not have a 14mm thread in the tank here, as I had read on in some forum threads and some other videos about putting a drain valve in this tank. Mine had a 16mm thread. The Easy company did not have a 16mm thread valve, so I went with the Fumoto valve. Number F108N. And having this 3/8 pipe nipple on the end. Lastly, because the shelf, I lowered the shelf. The shelf was originally mounted in the middle of the legs at these positions. I dropped the shelf down here and did not fasten the shelf anywhere. It's just sitting here, but it's not going anywhere. The legs are fastened securely to the dolly, so the shelf won't move. I installed some bracing because the legs were just too floppy. There's one brace on each side, diagonal brace, between the top screw hole that's already here and one of the shelf holes. And there's a similar brace on the other side. And I put one brace on the back that went from this original hole down to the shelf hole. And that stiffened up the entire assembly. My lid's falling off here. And that completes all the modifications they made to my tank. I'm very pleased. Let me know what you think. Don't go away just yet. After using my reconfigured tank, where I had this spigot line running all the way along the back, I realized I couldn't use it. It would be great if I was left-handed, but being a right-handed person, it didn't work out. So I had to reroute this spigot line to make a sharp bend here, so they had the hose to work with from my right side. What I may do is remove the spigot altogether and just put a 1/4 inch MPT nipple about 3 or 4 inches long to about here, and then attach my rubber line directly to it instead of at the end of the spigot hose, and see how that works. That's my update. Otherwise, I'm very satisfied with the way it came out. I did say before I thought this tank held less than 10 gallons, but I put in the full 10 gallons, and maybe you can tell the fluid is a little bit short of being, it's a little bit lower than the work surface here. Doesn't look like very much when you look at it from the side, but it's quite a lot. Okay, that's my update, and then I've inserted some photographs that I took along the way of assembling this project. So enjoy. Thank you. Bye.